This man seemed to get away with nearly everything in life. Every time he got himself in trouble with the law, he was let off the hook. It seemed as if no amount of evidence could get this man behind bars, until that one evening that shocked the entire nation. He got himself involved in one of the biggest feuds the Netherlands had ever seen, and that's where he got himself in real trouble for the first time. But then his family got involved, and the rest is history. This is the story of Hamza B. Hamza B, also known as Chiep Chiep, was born in 1987 and grew up in Amsterdam. At age 12, Hamza discovered that he had a talent for kickboxing and really excelled in the sport. His trainer had always told him that if he stuck to kickboxing and took it serious, he would become a big one. Yet, Hamza decided otherwise and slowly but surely stopped attending his training sessions. He preferred chilling in the streets with his friends. The streets are where Hamza would turn to petty crime, robbing and stealing, as well as fighting others. In April 2004, young Hamza, his father, and another man viciously attacked Abdelkhalid Belhaj with a crowbar. Abdelkhalid was the husband of Hamza's sister and allegedly cheated on her and filed for divorce. Hamza and his father were out for revenge and took matters in their own hands. Abdelkhalid filed a police report, however no one involved talked, which led to the police eventually giving up on the case. 4 months later, in August, Abdelkhalid was slowly driving in his car in Morocco when all of a sudden someone started attacking the car with an iron pipe. Upon exiting the car, he saw that it was Hamza. He filed another police report against Hamza, who in his turn recalled the incident very differently. According to Hamza, Abdelkhalid drove past and cursed at him and later chased him with an iron pipe. Hamza managed to grab the iron pipe after, which he started attacking the car. Both men were sentenced to 3 months of conditional jail for this incident. If you think the score would have been settled by now, you are wrong. Back in Amsterdam, in 2007, Abdelkhalid was driven to a location by 2 men he knew. While he exited the car, they remained seated, and that is when he got a strange feeling. Hamza, who was hiding behind a container, allegedly walked towards him and fired 11 shots, of which several struck Abdelkhalid. Hamza really didn't joke around when it came to his family. Luckily, Abdelkhalid survived. Hamza was arrested but released after 5 months because there was not enough evidence to have him prosecuted. The 2 men who lured Abdelkhalid didn't say a word. There was no CCTV footage nor any other witnesses. It was clear that Hamza did not mind using excessive violence, and it only seemed to get worse. On the 21st of May 2008, Hamza was suspected of being involved in a violent robbery on an Albert Heijn supermarket in Amsterdam, where the total loot amounted to €44,287. Police briefly arrested him but had let him go as they realized they did not have enough evidence. In that same month, Hamza allegedly tried to rip 2 French Moroccan drug dealers. After it went wrong, Hamza shot both of them in the leg. As the drug dealers weren't talking, police couldn't do anything. Hamza has always denied this by saying, "Another untrue story. If I want to rip someone, I'm not going to shoot them, because that's only going to bring me more problems, right? Also, I wouldn't be able to make money anymore with that firearm because it's not clean anymore. And I just don't rip people." Then, some positive news emerged regarding Hamza. In November 2010, Hamza would be featured on various Dutch news channels after he managed to disarm an angry man that pulled out a firearm after he got into a heated discussion. Despite the firearm being deemed to be fake afterwards, the people who saw that interview applauded Hamza. He was even called a hero by news outlets, but little did they know what Hamza was actually involved in. Thus far, Hamza managed to escape prosecution for nearly every incident he was involved with. However, police took notice that he hung around several notorious criminals and had quite a lot of money to spend at his young age despite having any paperwork to show for it. Where did all that money come from? In 2011, he featured in an episode of a TV show that followed cab drivers in Amsterdam. Hamza can be seen sitting in the back seat with his friend while wearing a very expensive watch. The final destination of the taxi ride? The Mercedes-Benz dealership. Hamza can be heard saying that he had to pick up his keys there, while also jokingly saying that he's going to buy an AMG for his friend. I assume he wasn't smiling anymore after he got badly beat up in a coffee shop, the Bulldog, by several Satudara members not long after. Hamza had gotten into it with one of the leaders of the groups, and instead of backing down, he decided to fight back against 12 Satudara members that were sat in the coffee shop. Honourable, but Hamza obviously did not stand a chance. On the 4th of October 2011, Hamza and another man tried to hit it big. They set out to rob a Rabobank branch located in Amsterdam North. After they arrived on their red scooter, they pulled out a battering ram to force the door into the bank open. Once inside, they yelled for money while waving around their firearms in the air. The employees cooperated and gave them the money, which amounted to 525,000 euros. They exited the bank and fled on their scooter. By pure coincidence, a camera crew was filming in the area and managed to film them fleeing the crime scene on their scooter. That footage, paired with the CCTV footage from inside the bank, caused police to quickly come to a conclusion. One of those men was Hamza. Shortly after the robbery, Hamza was arrested while leaving a coffee shop. Maybe you can already feel it coming. Hamza was released once again due to a lack of evidence. Was he a genius, or did he just have an insane amount of luck? You tell me. No one could have guessed what Hamza would get himself involved in next, though. A feud had been brewing in Amsterdam, and it was about to explode into a spiral of unprecedented violence that would go on for years and cost many lives. The reason for the feud was a shipment of 200 kilos that went wrong. Two groups had heavily invested in this shipment, and now started to blame each other for foul play. In an attempt to resolve the matter, Gwinnett Martha sent his right-hand man, Najer Bubu, to meet up with someone from Ben Aouf's camp. However, instead of resolving the matter, the feud had officially exploded after Najer Bubu was taken out on Ben Aouf's order. There was no way this matter could be resolved in a friendly manner. The tone had been set. What were once business partners on occasion were now sworn enemies. Here is where Hamza came in. Gwinnett Martha sought revenge for what Ben Aouf did to his right-hand man and decided to strike back viciously. Hamza was friends with several men of Gwinnett Martha's camp, and that's how he got involved in something that would become a legendary event in the underworld of Amsterdam. Hamza was recruited to help take out Ben Aouf A. After meticulous planning, the Stadsliedenbergs was changed into the set of a Hollywood movie on the 29th of December when two cars pulled up. In those two cars, 5 men on a mission. The mission was to take out Ben Aouf, who sat in a Range Rover together with 2 of his friends. Hamza was the driver of the Audi RS4. Anwar B and Adil A were also sat in the car equipped with Kalashnikovs. All of a sudden, tens of bullets were unleashed upon the Range Rover from the cars. Ben Aouf and the 2 others managed to exit the car and ran for their lives. Intended target Ben Aouf managed to jump in the water and saved his life. The 2 others were followed by Hamza, Anwar and Adil, and after a short chase, eventually taken out from close range. They fled in the Audi RS4 and left the Stadsliedenbergs. 2 police officers on motorbikes were close to the scene and immediately chased the silver Audi RS4. 2 of the men in the Audi opened fire, causing the 2 police officers to stop their chase and hide behind their motorbikes, fearing for their life. This moment shocked the entire nation and was unlike anything that had happened in the Netherlands. Shortly after losing the cops, Hamza and the 2 others exited the Audi and left it behind. They were in such a rush that they did not even set the car afire, a treasure for forensic investigators. On the 25th of January 2013, Hamza quickly travelled to Morocco after Adil A just got arrested in Amsterdam. He may have felt that he would be next and decided to flee. Upon investigation of the car, Hamza was the alleged driver, as his DNA was found on the headrest of the driver's seat. But would that be enough evidence to prosecute him? Would they finally have some evidence that would stick in court and put Hamza away for a long time? Well, while in Morocco, he called someone back in the Netherlands, inquiring whether police had found any DNA on the guns or any other significant info. Not the smartest thing to do. Hamza most likely thought he could live a free life in Morocco, as they do not extradite their people. That doesn't mean they will not arrest them, though. What didn't help him either was that he lived like a star in Morocco. Instead of staying under the radar, Hamza went out to parties and enjoyed the good life. It wasn't until the 21st of June 2013 that he would get arrested as he was waiting at the airport to pick up his girlfriend. Then came a long and drawn-out process of getting Hamza prosecuted in Morocco. He was looking at life in prison, but no one could have expected what happened next. At first, he did not want to be prosecuted according to Moroccan law. He then purposefully changed lawyers on a frequent basis, resulting in court sessions being postponed because the lawyers needed time to study the case of his new client. Then, he proceeded to question everything together with his lawyer. One of the most important pieces of evidence was statements given to the police by the target of the attack, Ben Aouf A. However, Benaouf had said multiple different things. I didn't recognize the driver of the car, he had a mask on, but I heard it was Hamza in the streets. Then, in another statement, he said, I am 100% sure it was Hamza behind the wheel. I saw him in his face, and he was also one of the shooters. If your most important witness gives such different statements, you know you will have a hard time making that stick in court. Then, on the 23rd of December 2014, Hamza didn't get life in prison, but just 20 years. This came as a total shock for the victims and Dutch police. They were hoping and even expecting a life sentence. Why did he only get 20 years? The reason for this came to light in August 2015. Through intermediaries, the courts and other authorities were allegedly bribed for 180,000 euros by Hamza's family, after which he was not given a life sentence like his two co-defendants in the Netherlands, but 20 years. After this bribe, the family allegedly offered another 200,000 euros and 160,000 euros to lower the sentence even more. Shortly after this news came out, the court and other authorities allegedly involved in the bribes were no longer involved in the case, and any evidence of the bribes had been lost. The bribe paid off. Hamza will serve his 20 years and will be able to live freely after all, while his co-defendants, Adil A and Anwar B, will serve life. This was the story of Hamza B. Before you leave, I'm on the way to 100,000 subscribers. Please consider subscribing if you haven't already to stay up to date with all my latest videos. Be sure to leave a like and a comment sharing your thoughts or feedback. I hope to see you in the next one.